In small-town America, there are places where everyone knows your name, where church bells ring faithfully every Sunday morning, and where neighbors wave to each other from their porches. Places where trust runs as deep as the roots of century-old trees. Independence, Missouri was one of those towns. A quiet community where life moved at a predictable pace, where people believed in God, family, and community. But beneath the calm streets and smiling faces, darkness can hide in plain sight. Sometimes the most trusted people can become the most dangerous. This is the true story of Randy Stone, a devoted husband, a loving father, a respected businessman, and a man whose faith in his church would ultimately lead to betrayal, heartbreak, and murder. Randy Stone was born on June 14, 1967 in Kansas City, Missouri, to Leonard and Clara Stone. He grew up with strong Midwestern values and a special bond with his mother, Clara. Those who knew him described a man of contrasts, tough on the outside, yet deeply sensitive within. He could bench press his own weight in the gym, yet write heartfelt poetry for the woman he loved. After graduating high school in 1986, Randy joined the Marine Corps. For nearly 4 years, he served his country with honor and distinction. When his service ended, he returned to Kansas City, back to familiar streets, and to Teresa Greenawalt, a girl he had known almost his entire life. Their families had been close for years, their lives intertwined by friendship, community, and shared faith. Randy and Teresa rekindled their bond. What started as friendship quickly blossomed into love. After just 7 months of dating, they married in 1990. Both were devout Christians, and their church wedding symbolized a promise before God, witnessed by family and community alike. Soon their family grew. First came their son Michael, followed by their daughter Miranda. Randy embraced fatherhood with unwavering devotion. He never missed a school play, a birthday, or a moment with his children. His love for his family was complete, his commitment absolute. Professionally, Randy was equally dedicated. In 1997, he opened his own insurance office, affiliating with Farmers Insurance. For over 13 years, he built a thriving business, becoming one of the most respected agents in Independence. Teresa worked alongside him, helping with administration and client care. Together, they built a life that seemed perfect, financially stable, admired by the community, and deeply in love. Yet even in this seemingly idyllic life, their faith remained at the center. Randy was deeply involved in New Hope Baptist Church, teaching Sunday school, driving children to church, and serving on the finance committee. Teresa contributed by preparing meals, singing in the choir, and organizing church events. They were the ideal church family, devout, committed, and respected. At New Hope Baptist Church, the Stones weren't the only devoted family. Pastor David, Love and his wife Kim were equally involved. David was born into a family of missionaries, and ministry was his heritage. By 1999, he became the pastor of New Hope Baptist Church, known for his charisma, engaging sermons, and ability to make every member feel seen. But appearances can be deceiving. Prior to coming to Missouri, David had left a previous congregation in Virginia amid financial controversies. Though many were unaware, it foreshadowed the darkness that would later unfold in Independence. Over time, David's relationship with Teresa Stone became inappropriate. Kim Love noticed it but initially dismissed her concerns. The first warning sign came in 2004 when Teresa became pregnant, despite Randy having undergone a vasectomy. A miscarriage ended that uncertainty, but it raised questions that would never fully disappear. By 2008, Randy began to suspect the affair between Teresa and Pastor David Love. He considered leaving the church entirely. Friends tried to reassure him, insisting that his wife loved him and that David would never betray the congregation. Doubt crept in, and Randy chose to stay, hoping to preserve his family and trust. Ironically, when Randy struggled with personal issues, including discovering his wife had viewed adult content, Pastor David Love offered counseling. Randy submitted himself to 2 years of private sessions, seeking guidance from the very man he suspected of betrayal. Unbeknownst to him, the affair continued in secret, and the pastor was carefully manipulating every confession Randy made. On March 31, 2010, Independence, Missouri, seemed like any other quiet day. But when Teresa arrived at Randy Stone's office, something felt wrong. The blinds were drawn, the door locked, unusual for midday. Inside, she found a scene of horror. Randy lay lifeless on the floor, blood pooled around his head, a single gunshot to the back of the head. There was no struggle, no sign of robbery, Investigators soon discovered the weapon belonged to Randy himself, taken from his home and used to execute him. The murder was deliberate, precise, and chillingly personal. This was not a random act of violence, but a calculated betrayal by someone who knew him intimately, turning trust and familiarity into instruments of death. Phone records, witness statements, and patterns of secret communication pointed to Teresa and David Love. At first, Teresa denied any wrongdoing, claiming their relationship was only friendship and spiritual guidance. But under mounting evidence, she confessed to a decade-long affair and revealed a chilling truth. David had talked about removing their spouses to be together. David Love fled Missouri, but was eventually tracked to South Carolina. On April 15, 2010, he was arrested without incident and brought back to face justice. With Teresa's cooperation, authorities uncovered the full extent of the conspiracy. David had manipulated Randy for years, using counseling sessions to plan his murder, while keeping the affair hidden. David Love pled guilty to second-degree murder and armed criminal action, receiving life in prison with eligibility for parole in 2036. Teresa Stone, for her role in the crime, but with full cooperation, was sentenced to 8 years and later began a quiet, low-profile life in Kansas City. Randy's family, shattered by betrayal and loss, faced years of grief. His mother, Clara, mourned the son she had loved and lost, while his children, Michael and Miranda, chose forgiveness as a way to preserve the family bonds that remained. Kim Love, David's former wife, eventually remarried and rebuilt her life, free from the shadow of the crimes that had upended her world. The tragedy serves as a stark reminder of how trust, once broken, can leave lasting scars on those left behind. The story of Randy Stone is a tragic reminder that evil often hides behind familiar faces. A devoted husband, loving father, and faithful member of his community, Randy's trust became his undoing. Betrayal can come from the most unexpected sources, even within a house of faith. Randy Stone's life and death stand as a warning. Sometimes darkness doesn't announce itself. Sometimes it wears a smile, sings hymns, and whispers words of guidance while plotting devastation in the shadows. The story of Randy Stone is a haunting reminder that evil often hides behind familiar faces. A devoted husband, loving father, and faithful member of his community, Randy trusted completely, and that trust became his undoing. Betrayal can come from the most unexpected sources, even from those we hold in the highest regard. While justice was served, the scars left behind for his family are a lasting testament to the cost of deception. Randy's life, his love, and his faith remind us that darkness can lurk where we least expect it, and that even in the safest places, vigilance and discernment are never out of place.